What if I told you? Your sugar glider isn't lazy, he's bored? Foraging is not a toy. It's not a game. And it's definitely not just something to keep your sugar glider busy. Foraging is survival behavior. In the wild, sugar gliders don't wake up and walk to a food bowl. They glide, climb, dig, tear, sniff, and search, sometimes for hours, just to find enough food to survive the night. This constant searching is called foraging, and their entire body is built for it. Their sharp claws, for gripping bark and branches. Their flexible hands, for peeling, pulling, and grabbing food. Their strong sense of smell, to locate nectar, sap, insects, and fruit hidden in trees. Even their brain is wired for problem solving. So when we place food neatly in a bowl, something important disappears. Yes, they eat, but their instinct doesn't get used. Imagine giving a human all their meals through a straw. You'd survive, but you wouldn't thrive. That's what bowl feeding only does. In nature, sugar gliders forage for tree sap and gum, nectar and pollen, insects hiding under bark, fruit scattered across wide areas. Nothing is easy. Nothing is instant. That challenge keeps them mentally sharp, emotionally balanced, and physically active. Now here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't talk about. When sugar gliders don't forage, they don't just get bored, they get frustrated. And frustration shows up as over-grooming, cage aggression, random biting, excessive sleeping, depression-like behavior. Owners think, my glider is lazy. But no, your glider is understimulated. Foraging gives them a job. It gives purpose to their night. It turns feeding time into exploration. It activates their instincts instead of suppressing them. And no, this does not mean removing bowls completely. Foraging is not punishment. It's enrichment. The goal is balance. Food should sometimes be easy, and sometimes be earned. Because when a sugar glider works for food, you don't just feed the body, you feed the mind. When sugar gliders don't forage, the problem doesn't appear overnight, it builds quietly. First comes boredom. And boredom doesn't mean rest, it means mental starvation. A sugar glider's brain is designed to work every night. Search, climb, solve, explore, remove that. And the mind looks for substitutes. This is where stress begins. And stressed gliders don't just act out, they eat. Without foraging, food becomes the only stimulation left in the cage. So they wait for feeding time. They rush the bowl. They overeat, not from hunger, but from frustration. Boredom turns into stress. Stress turns into overeating. And overeating leads to one of the most ignored problems in captive sugar gliders. Obesity. In the wild, gliders burn calories just finding food. In captivity with bowl-only feeding, calories come easy, but movement disappears. Fat builds up slowly. Owners don't notice at first. He become obese. He loves his food. He's just lazy. But lethargy is not cuteness. A glider that sleeps too much, moves less, and avoids climbing isn't relaxed. It's understimulated and overweight, and obesity doesn't stop at appearance. It increases the risk of joint strain, reduced mobility, shortened lifespan, and yes, organ stress. Now let's talk behavior, because this is where most owners get confused. A glider without foraging may show lethargy, sudden aggression, food guarding, obsessive focus on the feeding bowl. They lunge when you touch the cage near feeding time. They grab food and refuse to let go. They bite, not out of fear, but competition. Owners laugh. He's excited for food. No, that's not excitement. That's food obsession. When food is the only source of stimulation, it becomes the center of their world. And when you interfere, you become a threat. This is how bonding breaks without people realizing it. Not because the glider is mean, not because the glider is spoiled, but because the glider's natural system is incomplete. Foraging regulates behavior. It slows eating. It spreads activity across the night. It gives the brain something to do besides waiting for the bowl. When you remove foraging, you don't just remove enrichment, you remove balance, from behavior to weight, to your relationship with your sugar glider. This isn't about making life harder for them. It's about making life right. Foraging doesn't just change behavior, it changes the body. When we talk about foraging, most people think it's just mental stimulation. But for sugar gliders, foraging directly affects how their bodies function. Let's start with metabolism. In the wild, sugar gliders don't eat all at once. They move. They search. They climb. They solve. Food comes in small amounts, spread across the night. This pattern keeps their metabolism active and stable. When we bowl feed everything in one moment, the body receives a sudden calorie load, with no movement to match it. The result? Excess energy gets stored as fat, not used as fuel. Foraging fixes this naturally. Movement plus thinking forces the body to burn energy gradually, instead of storing it. Now let's talk digestion. Sugar gliders are designed to eat slowly. Insects, sap, nectar, small portions. When food is rushed, digestion becomes inefficient. The body struggles to regulate sugar levels. Nutrients are absorbed unevenly. Foraging slows eating down. Slower eating means better nutrient absorption, more stable blood sugar, less digestive stress. This is especially important for gliders on staple diets. Same food, different delivery, very different results inside the body. Now, fat storage. Here's something many owners don't realize. Fat isn't just about how much food you give. It's about how the body is forced to use it. A glider that eats fast and rests immediately has no reason to burn energy. A glider that works for food activates muscles, joints, and coordination. That movement signals the body. Use this energy now, not later. Not as fat. Now. This is why foraging reduces obesity. Without starving your sugar glider, you're not cutting food. You're changing how energy flows. Balanced movement plus mental effort. Balanced energy use. This is the missing piece in many perfect diets. Owners say, my diet is correct. My portions are right. But without foraging, the body still lives in excess mode. And excess, even with good food, creates imbalance. Foraging restores the natural rhythm. Move, find, eat, repeat. Not eat, sleep, store. This is how sugar gliders stay lean, active, and alert, without stress, without hunger, and without extreme restrictions. You don't need expensive toys to feed instincts. Foraging doesn't require fancy equipment. You don't need to buy anything special. You just need to change how food is offered. Let's start simple. The easiest foraging setup is food scattering. Instead of placing all food in one bowl, divide the portion into small amounts and place them in different safe areas of the cage. Branches, ledges, platforms, same food, different locations. This alone encourages movement and exploration. Next, hide and search foraging. Use safe, non-toxic items like paper towel rolls, crumpled paper, untreated cardboard, small fabric pouches. Place a tiny food portion inside. So your glider has to investigate, sniff, and reach. This mimics how they search for insects and sap in nature. Another easy setup is vertical foraging. Sugar gliders are natural climbers. Place food slightly higher or lower than usual, so they must climb or glide short distances. This activates muscles and burns energy naturally, without forcing exercise. Now let's talk safety. Foraging must always be safe and stress-free. Avoid sharp edges, strings or loose threads, small items that can be swallowed, toxic wood, glue, or paint. If it can trap toes, cut skin, or cause panic, don't use it. Foraging should feel like a puzzle, not a challenge. Watch your glider. If they freeze, avoid, or get frustrated, simplify the setup. Now, how often should you rotate foraging? Every few days is ideal. Gliders are smart. Once they master a setup, the mental challenge disappears. Rotation keeps the brain engaged, without increasing food amounts. Think variety, not complexity. Finally, transitioning from bowl feeding to foraging. Never remove the bowl completely on day one. Start by placing some food in the bowl and some food in foraging spots. Over time, reduce the bowl portion and increase foraging portions. This builds confidence and prevents stress or food anxiety. Foraging is not about control. It's about cooperation with instinct. When sugar gliders are allowed to move, search, and think, their bodies balance themselves. Their behavior improves. Their weight stabilizes. Their energy returns. This is how you feed instincts, not just stomachs. If this helped you understand your glider better, like this video, subscribe to GliderSpot TV PH, and share it with another glider owner who wants to care deeper, not just feed and care.